How would it feel if you went to go sell your course and you heard the words, "This program is a 10 out of 10 for me." And then the next thing you know, they're making a payment, and this just continues to happen on repeat. Selling becomes easy when your program, your online course, is exactly what your ideal client needs and wants. By the end of this video, you'll know my approach and our strategy to create a course curriculum that truly sells, scales, and also creates the most incredible results for your clients. And it's the same strategy that we've taught to over 3,000 of our clients in 47 different countries and over 600 different niches to create a highly scalable online course business. Just like Arifa, who recently shared, it feels so great when someone says this program is 10 out of 10 in terms of what they need. Thank you for teaching us how to create the best program that our ideal clients want. So let me tell you a little bit more about Arifa. Arifa teaches classroom teachers how to transition their teaching skills into a corporate learning and development career. Her course clients have landed jobs at places like Google and Salesforce, amongst others. And Arifa generated $500,000 in online course sales in just 11 months by implementing this strategy. If you're really serious with creating a highly scalable online course business, it's what we do. So I've created a free masterclass for you. If you comment below right now with masterclass, we'll send you the direct link to view it on demand. All right, let's get into the video. So how do you create a course curriculum that people actually want to buy? And more importantly, that actually works to get them the result that they've invested into? First of all, the ability to sell your program consistently depends on two key factors: the specificity and the outcome of your program, and the efficiency of the curriculum to get them to the outcome they want and need. Because what is the best sales and marketing strategy of all time? Results. And this is why I always bring her back to our flywheel or engine that runs an online course business that looks like this. So you have your course at the very top of it, your transformational course, which you then need to get people enrolled into, which then creates transformations once they're in the program and using the curriculum. And once they have those transformations, they are so happy to tell other people that you are the best of the best when it comes to this topic. And that drives more and more people into your program. And with time, it starts to build momentum on its own to create this flywheel that really does run and fuel your business growth. So first and foremost, a curriculum that sells can deliver results without you. So there are a couple of red flags when you create a course curriculum. If you find yourself answering the same questions for people over and over again and needing to customize your response to each person who comes in, or customize the path to get them to the outcome that they're looking for each person coming in, ultimately you've created a program and a course that can't really sell or scale. So there are a couple of keys to creating a curriculum that actually can scale. It takes your clients on the path from zero to hero as efficiently as possible. It doesn't require you to constantly customize to each new client who enrolls, and every client that enrolls should be able to get the end result of the program without ever needing to speak to you. And most importantly, a curriculum that truly works and can sell and scale for the rest of time needs to be able to deliver the outcome to your client without them relying on you. Because ultimately, if you create a curriculum in the most effective way possible, you have given them the blueprint, the path, the journey that they need to go on from their zero state to their hero state, and they can study it and implement it in their own time and their own way because you've taken that expertise that you have and laid it out in a very easy to follow step-by-step curriculum for them. And this is what we refer to as a legacy business, which is what our clients are creating by leveraging our strategy. And what a legacy business is it's a business that allows you to create an income and an impact without your constant time, attention, involvement, or presence. So I'm gonna get you to ask a question that is pretty morbid right now, but it is probably the biggest factor to creating a really effective curriculum. If you were to die tomorrow, how would your clients get results from your program without you? That is how you want to build a curriculum. You want to build it in a way that you know that if you didn't exist, people could still get the outcome that they want from your curriculum. By packaging your expertise and curriculum into an online course, you're able to impact more than one person at a time, which is why this is such a scalable business model. So before we start building the curriculum, you need to identify which of these you ultimately align with most. Or if you align with all of them, that's great too. You are building your curriculum based on your own expertise, experience, or skill set. You have career expertise or experience in this area. You've created a transformation for yourself or others in this specific area. You are using a skill set that you have mastered to create your course, or you're focusing on one of your favorite client transformations of all time, if you've had clients, and their specific results and the common denominators between them to build your curriculum. So let's go ahead and start constructing the curriculum first and foremost with the end in mind. That is absolutely crucial. In order to build an effective curriculum, we have to know what is the end goal and work backwards from there. Because ultimately, your client is going on that zero to hero journey through your curriculum. So we have to identify the hero state first and foremost so that we can work backwards from there to create the curriculum that's going to get them to that end result. So who do they want to be? What do they want to do? And ultimately, what do they want to achieve? From there, we have to identify the starting point. So the starting point is what we call the zero state. And the zero state is where your client is at when they are in the most pain, have the most urgency, feeling the most challenged or frustrated or stuck, and they absolutely are ready to take action, do the work, and achieve that hero outcome. If you pick the wrong starting point, what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a curriculum that is way too long, or you're going to create a curriculum that has way too many options and paths for your client to go on in order to get to that hero outcome. And ultimately, the path to creating a curriculum that sells and scales has to come down to, like I said earlier, efficiency. So we wanna ensure that we're choosing an ideal client and a starting point for that ideal client, which is that zero state, where they are the most ready to get started, hit the ground running, and actually take action towards achieving that end result. So to picture this and visualize this, I want you to understand that there's a big difference between a client who comes in, does the work, gets great results, and a client who comes in and kind of dilly-dallies, doesn't really do the work, isn't really motivated, complains a lot, gets lost in the curriculum, and all of those not so great things. And the difference really comes down to, is it a prescription or a vitamin? A vitamin is a nice to have. You can think of it also as kind of like a hobby or a skill that they're kind of interested in learning, but there is no real urgency for them to actually do it or learn it. Whereas a prescription is, if they don't take this, they're going to get more ill, they're going to get more sick. They're going to potentially have some really bad consequences from it. So you need to identify, is that zero state for your client a vitamin state, or is it a prescription state? Are they in a place where they need to go to the doctor and they need a prescription so they can start feeling better? That is what your curriculum needs to be. It has to be a prescription for whatever it is that is causing them pain, challenge, frustration, or feeling stuck. So the very first step in identifying what could potentially be inside of your curriculum is to audit and look back at what was required for either you or somebody that you worked with to go from zero to hero. So you wanna basically brain dump all of the things, the skills, the tactics, the strategies, the methods that you used or you implemented for somebody that you worked with to achieve that hero outcome. That is the starting point for building out your curriculum. Don't worry about what order it goes in right now. Just start thinking about what needed to be included. After you look at your own experience, then you want to look externally. So a really great thing that you can do is go onto Amazon and seek out books on the topic that you're creating your program around. And what you want to do is you want to go through and see what are all the chapters in those books. And also, what are the reviews saying about those books? What are the best reviews and what are the worst reviews on those books? There is absolute gold for how you can build out a really effective curriculum in the reviews section on Amazon in your particular area and niche. People will literally say, this book was okay, but it didn't include X, Y, and Z, and that's really what I'm looking for. So you will be hand-delivered curriculum ideas. So you start with your own experience and brain dumping all of these strategies, techniques, and tactics that it takes to go from zero to hero. Then you do some external research to see what other people are saying out in the world about how they want to get to that hero outcome and achieve that hero outcome and what's working and what's not. And then it comes down to actually speaking to real human beings to really start to formulate the curriculum and the order that your curriculum needs to go in to create the most effective path for your ideal client. So we talked about this in depth in last week's video on my prototype to profit plan. So I do recommend checking out that video next. And I know the thought of speaking to people can actually be a little scary, but you want to think about it as research because that's truly what it is. You are not doing this to sell anything to anyone because you don't have anything to sell right now. What you're doing is you're getting into the brain of your ideal clients to understand what is it that they actually need. So you are essentially creating the curriculum without having to think too hard about it because you're getting validation from these people to say, this is exactly what I want and need, which will make your program a 10 out of 10. So you want to start with the lowest hanging fruit. And what I mean by that is the warm audience you have around you. Start by dipping your toe in the water. You don't need to go in the deep end and speak to people that you don't know quite yet, but you can start speaking to people that are your friends, your family, coworkers, peers in your industry. And if you do have a social audience, you can absolutely ask the people that follow you as well. And it really is as simple as just saying, hey, do you happen to know anyone who's trying to achieve X outcome? And that opens the doors for people to say, yeah, actually, that's something I'm struggling with. I'd love to help you with this. I'd love to talk to you about this. And from there, as you start talking to these people, you then ask them, do you know anybody else who would need help with this? And you start to get referrals to people who are outside of your network. And that's how you start to build this base of human beings that could be potential clients for your program once you're ready to actually sell. But most importantly, what you're doing is you're speaking to these people who have the pain point that you are addressing and are seeking the outcome that you are trying to help them achieve. And they're literally telling you verbatim exactly what they would want inside of a program. So now let's dig into the formula for creating your curriculum outline. And like I said earlier, if you're very serious about this, I've created an entire free masterclass that you can get on demand. Just comment below with the word masterclass and we'll send you the direct link. So ultimately, your curriculum formula needs to start with the research that we've already done. So it comes from your own experience. It comes from the research that you've done on sites like Amazon or other platforms. And then it also comes from those human conversations that you've had. And you want to basically put all of that information into the potential formula bucket. And from there, we want to always go back to the outcome. So we plug in, okay, this is the outcome that I'm helping my client achieve. And then we cross-reference what's in that formula bucket. And this is the most important step. You are going to subtract anything that is not 1000% necessary to get your client from zero to hero. This is your hardest job as a course creator because it requires you to delete and subtract when your innate reaction and your natural reaction is the more information you put in a course, the better, when that is absolutely the opposite of the truth. So you want to make it as lean and effective as possible to get your client results. Because why? Results are the best marketing plan and sales plan you could ever have. When people know your program works, they want it, period, end of story. And from there, you have this very pared down version of your curriculum, and you're gonna then lay it out in the order that makes the most sense to get your client from zero to hero. And the way that you build out the curriculum is organized into categories. So you have modules, lessons, sub-lessons, action steps, outcomes, and wins. So what I mean by that is the module is a phase. So you're gonna have phases throughout your program, and in order for people to get to the end goal and the outcome, they have to complete each phase in order. Within those phases and those modules, you're going to have lessons, and those lessons are chunked down versions of what the person needs to know and understand in order to achieve the end goal and outcome of that phase, which will ultimately lead them to the end goal of the curriculum. And from there, inside of those lessons, sometimes there's micro lessons that you need to create an additional training on. So you just include that as a sub lesson underneath that specific lesson in the module. And the most important thing to understand is with each lesson, there needs to be a very clear action step for the ideal client to take so that they are gaining momentum as they go through your curriculum to achieve the hero outcome. And what you want to be sure of is as they finish each lesson, there is some kind of win that they are achieving for themselves. It could be tiny, but there has to be some sort of reward or positive return for doing the work and implementing what is inside of that lesson. Why is that so important? Because that builds momentum, and momentum is what ultimately leads people to getting to the end result. You can't just jump forward and get to the end outcome overnight. We ultimately have to give people micro wins along the way so that they feel like they're accomplishing something, so that they stay the course and stay committed to the curriculum to achieve the hero outcome. And when it comes to actually creating your curriculum, the reality is you're not going to create it at first. And I mentioned this again in last week's video. You start with the prototype version of your curriculum because the best way to understand how to lay out the curriculum to make it the best of the best of the best is that you need to deliver it in a live setting, because there is no better feedback and there's no better way to identify your blind spots as an expert than to get the real people that you're serving to tell you, this was in the wrong spot. I didn't really understand that lesson. I think you're missing a step here. I got really confused or stuck in this part. And that makes your curriculum even more thorough because you can go in and make adjustments and tweaks as you deliver it live. So we ultimately call this a POP, a profitable offer prototype. And what it means is that you're creating a bare bones version of your online course. You do live delivery to your clients. You get real world feedback, which optimizes your teaching process. And then you have your packaged online course you can sell on autopilot. What the live delivery time does for you is it allows you teaching and creation time. And that is so important because that allows you, like I said, to create the curriculum that's actually going to work. So you're essentially getting paying clients in the door in this process to test your curriculum, make it the best that it can be so that once you do package it, it is the most optimized version, which is going to get your clients the best results in the most efficient way, which will lead to amazing results in testimonials and social proof, which leads to getting more and more clients in the door. And I want to show you the power of this right now. So Arifa shared that one of her students went from making $58K to $135,000 in her new job, which I helped with within 90 days. So proud. And listen, is every single client going to be able to go through your curriculum without any help or guidance from you and get to the end result? That's the goal, but it is still very important to offer some level of support. So you have your curriculum, which takes your client from A to Z, 0 to hero. But then you also have built-in support. So we do this through a private community for our clients where everyone's able to support each other and help each other through hurdles. And we're in there every single day answering questions and providing guidance. And then we have 2 weekly business clinics where we actually get to speak to our clients in a live setting and help them through any hurdles that they're facing. And what that does is it creates a really foolproof way for your client to achieve the hero outcome if they put in the work and they leverage what's available to them. So when you build out a curriculum, you really do want to think about it as a journey. You're taking your ideal client on a journey to get from where they are right now to where they ultimately want to be. And when we do this the right way, you've set yourself up for long-term success. So I want to always bring it back to the roadmap to creating a scalable online course business. So you have the offer, which is your transformational online program. You know very clearly who you're serving and ultimately where they're at when they need the most help and they're actually ready to do the work, which leads to creating messaging that really lands and marketing that really lands with the right people and the hottest and warmest leads for your program, which then leads into generating leads for your business, which ultimately leads to generating sales in the long run and consistently for your business. And it's really important to understand that once you've tested your curriculum, you're then going to package it into an on-demand course, which people can study on their own time. And you can market your course in whichever way you desire, but we always enforce and tell people that you want to test your marketing and messaging first on other platforms before you bring it to a platform like YouTube, because YouTube is really the essential tool to be able to scale the course and attract leads on autopilot every single day. So in Arifa's case, she actually got started with other platforms by testing her messaging and making sure that it really worked to attract the right people before she even touched YouTube. So we always like to say you want to date other platforms, you want to marry YouTube. And by doing this, when Arifa finally started to use YouTube for her business, because she knew which messaging had already converted on other platforms, and now she was making this evergreen video that could live on YouTube and attract clients for the rest of time, and it was working. And it was working so well that she didn't need a big subscriber base in order to generate revenue. She said she got her first sale from YouTube, and I don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. Thank you for everything. Also, life update, bought a new house and finished moving in. None of this would have been possible without Team Sunny. Because ultimately our goal is, yes, to help you build a highly scalable online education business, but more than that, we want to help you build a legacy business, which allows you to have this massive impact and generate the income that you want while also creating the life that you want. So one final update I did want to share with you, as I mentioned earlier, the results that Arifa was able to get, and I just want to share this with you. She said, I took an 8-day vacation, went on a cruise to Jamaica, Cayman Island, and Mexico, where I had no internet and absolutely zero access to my laptop. I did no work at all on my vacation, yet this month was by far my biggest month I had in sales. Today I've reached $500,000 in sales, total revenue generated in 11 months of starting this business. Celebrate with me. And Arifa's business has continued to grow since then. And we have so many examples just like this inside of our program. And like I said, if you are really serious about creating an online education business, creating your online course business, we take this very seriously. So I highly encourage you to check out my free masterclass I've created, the 4 steps to creating a scalable online education business, at the link in the description below, or comment below with masterclass and we'll send you the direct link. I highly encourage you to watch my prototype to profit video next. You can check that out here, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.